hey, living like a Stae. Hey, hey, living like a Stae. Hey, hey, living like a Stae. Hey, hey, love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dream. Living like a Stae. Hey, hey, living like a Stae. Hey, hey, living like a Stae. Hey, hey, living like a Stae. Hey, hey.
Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. I hate to leave people waiting, and I saw I had like 3 people waiting. I was so frustrated, but it's your girl, Stae Hall, and we are here for yet another day of our March Madness. So thank you so much for tuning in, hanging in there with me. I don't know what is going on with my computer lately, but it wants to start just losing sound randomly. Like I had the computer on all day, I had YouTube on, and I had plenty of sound. And then as soon as I decide to go live, there's no sound. So I don't know what that was all about, but I've had to restart it every single time. However, we're here. So I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. Things happen. It is what it is. Technology is not always my friend. I'm not the most tech savvy, but anyway, I'm your girl, Stae Hall. Thank you so much for tuning in to Living Life with Stae, the March Madness edition. I don't even know what day we are in this March Madness, but this has been a lot of fun for me. However, it has really pushed me and challenged me. I don't know what I was doing when I decided to do this, especially in Women's History Month. My days have been jam-packed with events and trainings and all the things. But I decided, hey, I'm going to do March Madness. So here we are. We're doing March Madness. Absolutely no complaints. It's just been a challenge. And challenge is good. It pushed me outside of my comfort zone as far as stretching my time. And that's a good thing as well, because change and success happen outside of, hey, Geraldine, thank you for tuning in, happen outside of the comfort zone. So anyway, I'm your girl, Stae Hall. I am a certified emotional intelligence and soft skills coach. I'm a published author, a mom of 6, a life coach, L.Y.F.E, love yourself first explicitly, and a social media influencer. I have YouTube, I have TikTok, I have Facebook, all the things. And my passion is for pouring into people and helping them live their life at their absolute highest self, and teaching us that our only competition is the person that we were yesterday. We always want to strive to be just a little bit better than the person we were yesterday. We don't have to take all of these huge leaps. We don't have to put all of this pressure on ourselves to just completely transform overnight. But as long as our intention is to constantly be better, as long as we're open to feedback, as long as we're open to coaching, and we're honest with ourselves and self-aware, we are going to constantly get better. You don't have any choice but to get better. Education, open-mindedness, a positive mindset, pouring into yourself, investing into yourself, self-care, self-love, those things can only lead to you getting better and stronger every day. And so what we've been doing during March Madness is I've just kind of been giving y'all a sneak peek of all of the things. Hey, Janet, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, girl. And so what I've been doing throughout March Madness is just giving you all a sneak peek of the things that I do on a regular basis as far as my coaching and training. Like, for instance, I did a 4-hour session today all about conflict resolution. And so I had a group of people and we just talked about ways to manage conflict in a healthy way in the workplace. And those are the kind of things that I talk about. That's what I do as a soft skills coach. And so I thought that it would be nice during March Madness to kind of give y'all a sneak peek, a little intro into what Stae Hall does as far as an emotional intelligence and soft skills coach and a life coach. Also, I have a passion for helping entrepreneurs. I am a serial lifetime entrepreneur. And so along the road, I have been forced to learn a lot of things on my own. I didn't always have someone there at the ready who was willing and open, or maybe even had the bandwidth or the time to help me. And so it put me in a place where I had to do my own research and kind of figure out things on my own. And it was not easy at all. As a matter of fact, it was super difficult. I believe that if I would have had the support system that I needed, things might have gone a lot quicker for me. Hey, Kenneth, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Things could have gone a lot quicker for me. Things might not have been so bumpy along the road. However, at the end of it all, I realized that the reason why I was put in the position to have to do so much on my own is because I'm that person who, when forced to do something on my own, when I have something that's taxing, when I struggle with something, I make a vow to myself that if at all possible, when anyone else comes into my line of sight that's struggling with the same type of things, I am going to help them. And so that's just a little about me, my passion, and why I do the things I do. And so tonight, what we're going to talk about is the art of networking and building meaningful connections. So much about business and success and opportunities is about networking. And networking to a lot of people is like an automatic trigger. Like I think Janet said the other day, so you mean I got to go out and talk to people in person off the screen? Yes, we do. But those connections are real. And I always believe that the best techniques most of the time are those old school techniques, those tried and true classic techniques. Technology is great. Being more modern is great. Doing things a little differently is great. But at the end of the day, you can't fail if you just go back to the tried and true and the old faithful. And networking is definitely one of those things. So many huge deals have just been made across the dining table with a handshake and a promise. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. But networking is, I remembered that because I used to be like that as well. But so many deals have just been made with a handshake and a promise, like no written contracts. And people back in the day just trusted you by your word, trusted you by your character. And a lot of major things happen that way. And so even though we have electronics now and we can do things online, there's still nothing that beats that good old face-to-face. I was talking about that as well today when I was talking about conflict resolution. So many conflicts can be resolved if people are just willing to have a conversation. Not that email, not that text, not that, thing that you send electronically where you're only getting one side of it. No, let's have a conversation, and not necessarily over the phone, because we communicate with our entire bodies. And so people like to be able to see your body language, see your facial expressions. Oh, Janet, I hope you feel better soon. Oh my gosh, that is terrible. I've never had a migraine. I don't even really get a lot of headaches, but I hear they can be debilitating. I know my husband gets migraines from time to time. So definitely sending good vibes, good juju, and prayers your way. But yeah, people like to communicate, and we communicate with our entire bodies. And so a lot can get lost in translation when you are just dealing with email, text messages, and stuff like that. And so when all is said and done, you have to have conversations once in a while. We just have to have conversations. And so networking is one of those things where we can network online. I've made some wonderful connections online. Yes, I have clients who I have never met in person. I have never actually sat across a table from, and we do great business together. However, you're selling yourself short, even though the internet and social media and all of these different platforms have opened us up to an entire pool of people who we may not have ever run across in our everyday life, it's still good to build relationships with people who are right down the street. And so instead of just having our business and our networking be totally online, let's not forget about the people who are right next door, right down the street. So don't let the internet and social media and all of these platforms make you feel like that's all you need. Let it be an addition to the other things like the good old fashioned networking, the good old fashioned sitting down for coffee, the good old fashioned let's grab lunch. Those connections are really meaningful and can take you a long way as well. There are so many things that I have been able to do, and so many doors have been opened for me just through networking. And so what I want to talk about today is the actual art of networking and what that looks like. And then also maybe dive into some of how to get over the anxiety of networking or the social awkwardness of networking, things that you can do to literally draw people to you. Because we also talked about the fact that as much as we may not like a lot of public speaking, we may not like introducing ourselves to people and just having small talk. And small talk is really not going to get you to the nitty gritty anyway, but we can talk for hours or days about the things that we're passionate about. And so I want to try to give you some tips and tricks and little insight on things that you can do to put yourself in the position where when you are networking, that you are able to talk about exactly what it is that you want to talk about, what you're passionate about, and at the same time, building those relationships. Yes, small talk makes me crazy as well, Janet. I'm not a big small talker, and it's just kind of awkward for me. And so, yeah, I definitely get it. And so it is definitely something that I have had to practice. And I feel at this point, I am really, really, really great at networking. And Wallace will tell you, in the beginning, when we first started this business, before he was able to come on full time with me, that was one of the things I dreaded. Like if he was able to go to a networking event with me, I was good because he was the talker. And at least if it was somebody that he felt like I needed to talk to, he would introduce me to them and at least kind of break the ice. But there were tons that he couldn't go to because they were doing the day and he was at work and he wasn't able to get free. But if we wanted to grow our business, I still needed to go to those networking events. Even sometimes I went kicking and screaming. I needed to go. And in the very beginning, I would come home and tell him, I didn't meet anybody. I didn't make any connection. And he's like, really? What? Nobody was there? Oh, there were a lot of people there. I just didn't meet anybody. And there were a couple of people that I did know, and I chatted with them for a bit and I left. And it's like, and that's not the point of networking. The whole point of networking is meeting people who you don't already know. But I would automatically just gravitate to familiar faces and where I was comfortable, and probably stalling them from their networking because I am talking to them and they need to meet other people. And so what I would suggest is, first of all, where do you find these networking events? So an awesome tool that I found, y'all know I'm going to say the Chamber of Commerce, number one. You definitely have to get connected with your chambers of commerce. They have some awesome networking events, and they also promote and put a lot of networking events in their newsletter. But aside from the chambers of commerce, the online portion is Eventbrite. And so Eventbrite is an app as well as a site. And let me go ahead and type that in the chat because it's spelled not the correct way to spell bright. But Eventbrite is an awesome search engine. It's a tool where you can promote any events that you're having, as well as research and find out what other events are going on in your area. And so all you do is you use it just like you would use Google or YouTube. You go into it, you type in the search engine business mixers, because they're called mixers, they're called networking events, all different things. And then you put in your city and it will pull up a list of what events are going on for whatever time frame. And that is a good way to find out the networking events. You can also, with the Chamber of Commerce, if you're not ready to join the Chamber of Commerce or you don't want to go into a Chambers of Commerce office, you can subscribe to the newsletter. Most, if not all, chambers have electronic newsletters that you can subscribe to, and they're going to be promoting those networking events. And so once you find a networking event that looks like it may be something that you're interested in, because you can put in business networking events, entrepreneurial networking events. I'm sure there's probably even gardening, homesteading networking events. Some people call them meet and greets, different things, mixers. You find those and it'll let you know where they are. Some of them you need to register and some of them you don't. And a lot of times they'll give you a description of kind of what to expect, what type of people that you can expect there, what's going to go on. Some of them are very casual, where it's literally just a room, a restaurant, or whatever of a bunch of like-minded people, small business people, entrepreneurs. That's also a place where a lot of bankers hang out, because like I was telling y'all yesterday, the banks have funding for small businesses. The banks have programs for small businesses. So a lot of your local community bankers will hang out at these networking events because they want to meet entrepreneurs. So this is another way to try to build a relationship with a bank, find out what kind of funding there is. A lot of these financial institutions, chambers of commerce, and different small business, even the Small Business Administration of the United States government, will host these entrepreneurial and small business mixers, and they'll be the ones who host them, and they'll let you know what type of programs and funding and things that they're rolling out, because this is their way to get all of their ideal clients in one room to share the information. But in the meantime, while you're getting that information, while you're building the connections with those bankers and whatever entities, you're also going to be in a room full of people who either do something similar as you do, but they're definitely in small business. It's a way where you can find people who you can collaborate with, find people who are doing different things, but you still have some kind of common interest. It's a way to build your support system. And so once you get there, you're going to have to start talking to people, right? And so that's the difficult part. So you've identified the networking event. It seems like it would be a good place for you to be. You got your business cards in tow, because you want to make sure you always have your business cards, either the old-fashioned physical paper ones, or you can have your digital business card. And there is an app that I use called Hi Hello, I believe. It's a purple app. And of course, like every other subscription, there's a paid and unpaid version, but the unpaid version is just fine, where you can actually build your digital business card with a QR code so that you don't have to pay for printing, and you don't have to worry about people losing your business card and wasting your money on that. They can actually just scan a QR code and it puts your business card directly in their phone. Yes, Janet, we have to talk. So you get there, you have your business cards, and now you have to meet people. And that can sometimes be the difficult part. Now, some of the networking events that you go to or mixers are going to be structured in a way where you don't have to just randomly meet people. They'll have what's called their elevator pitch part, or their, different people call it different things now, but most of us know it as your 2-minute elevator speech. And so you'll mix and mingle. A lot of them will have, little snacks, maybe something to drink. And then at some point, when they feel like the room is full enough, they'll say, hey, there's, some time for us to talk about your business. Now, every once in a while, they may only have a certain amount of people that can speak, and sometimes they'll open it up to the entire room. It just depends. But I encourage you, as difficult as it may be for some of us, and I was included in that number before, if you have that opportunity, go ahead and take it. Now, you may not want to take that opportunity your very first time because you're just getting your feet wet. You're just kind of seeing the lay of the land and how things are working. And you may have used every ounce of your energy just to make it there. And I get that. I did not take advantage of it the first time either. But at least go and try. And if you don't let it deter you. Continue to go back. And in this 2-minute, or sometimes they'll even say 30 seconds, it really depends on the size of the crowd, how many people they're going to give the opportunity. So I tell everybody to have 2 versions of your elevator pitch, depending on how much time you may have. But in your elevator pitch, you can have something already pre-memorized. I suggest you do. I did at first. And then as I got more comfortable with it, I was able to tweak it and I didn't think about it so much. But you just want to make sure that you hit the key points. Number 1, you want to tell them who you are personally. So just give them your name. I'm Stae Hall. The second part about it is you want to tell them who and what you represent. So I'm Stae Hall, and I am the CEO of ISALT, Institute for Success and Leadership Training. Then you want to tell them who you serve and what you are going to do. So before you even tell them exactly what it is you want to do, you want to right off the bat catch the ears of the people who may need you. So I'm Stae Hall, the CEO of Institute for Success and Leadership Training, and I help people to reach their highest level of success by giving them the skills and tools that they need to thrive in whatever industry they're in. So now all of a sudden, hey, Lacey J, how are you, boo? So now all of a sudden, I have people's ears because the ones who are looking for something to help catapult them to their next level of success, the ones who might be looking for a coach. And again, I haven't said what I am yet. I haven't said that I'm a coach. I haven't said I'm a trainer. I haven't said any of that because I have limited time. So I am Stae Hall, CEO of ISALT, Institute for Success and Leadership Training, and I help people to reach their next level of success by giving them the skills and tools they need to thrive. That's it. And so that may be all the time I have. If I have more time, then I'll say, I do this by coaching them in soft skills and emotional intelligence. Soft skills are the opposite of hard skills. These are not your technical skills. These are your interpersonal skills. Things like effective communication, active listening, team building, de-escalation, and I might name a few. And then I'll say, if you are interested in working with me and feel that I can provide value, then you can reach me at isaltforyou.com or whatever. And so it's just something really quick and easy. You want to tell them who you are, what you represent, what you can do for them, and how they can reach you. It's not a time to give your whole bio. It's not a time for you to go through this whole list of why you're passionate about what you're passionate about. Just tell them who you are, who you represent, and what you can do for them. That is what is going to pique people's interest. And guess what that does for the introverted extroverts like myself? What that does now is if you have a bomb elevator pitch, now people are going to be waiting to talk to you. And I don't know about y'all, but if people come to me and want to talk to me, it is a lot easier. Like, it doesn't take anything for me, but for somebody just to come up and introduce themselves to me. Like, hey, I'm Janet. How are you? I heard your elevator pitch and I was really, excited. Or they may not say elevator pitch, but I heard when you introduced yourself, whatever. And I was really intrigued about what you do. Tell me more. Boom. Now I'm good. That's all I needed. Sometimes in the beginning, I was terrible where I would literally just start talking and rattling it off without even asking them who they are and what they did, because now you hit my sweet spot. You've made me comfortable. You have told me that you want to hear more about what I do. And most of us who are in small business, most of us who are entrepreneurs, once someone asks that question, we're off to the races. all of that anxiety is gone. All of that social awkwardness is gone, is because you asked me my favorite question. What is it that I do? And so we talk about that. And so in those settings where they're more formal, like, hey, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves, give our elevator speech, then that's what you would do. But guess what? You can also do that one-on-one. You just tone it down a little bit, but the way you can introduce yourself, because you have to remember that when you're going to these networking events, this is what people are expecting. There may be only a handful of you who are at your first networking event or who are maybe uncomfortable with networking, but the majority of these people in the room do this all the time. In the beginning of my business, when I had 0 to no clients, which y'all see, that's both 0 to no, zilch, none. I had no clients. I had no contracts. I was at a networking event almost 5 days a week, sometimes twice some days, and sometimes 7 days a week. Why? Because I had 0 to no clients. And I knew that they weren't just going to come knocking on my door. I had a website that was unbelievable. All of these courses, all of this knowledge, but who was going to know about it if I didn't get out there and meet people? I was putting it on Facebook. I was talking about it on YouTube. But again, my numbers were low. So where was my credibility? So I had to get out there, start meeting people, start talking to people, and let them know that I even existed. So as uncomfortable as it was for me in the very beginning, I knew that I have a service that will help so many people. And I'm so passionate about what I do. I would be doing myself as well as those in need of what I offer a disservice if I don't get over this social anxiety, this social awkwardness, and just get out there and start talking to people. So when I tell y'all, I was out there all the time. And then once my business started to grow, y'all, I was so used to doing it. I just recently have scaled back on my networking events because it just became a part of who I am, right? So I would hear about networking events, and I hear about a lot because I'm on the board for the chamber. I'm on the board for a couple of other organizations, and they're always talking about networking events. And so I had to actually scale back myself, like, look, business is booming. I am running myself ragged, trying to take care of all of our clients, our contracts and all that. Something's got to give. And so now I don't do quite as many networking events. Not to say that I don't do any, because now I have to host some. I'm actually hosting one tomorrow, the State of the Chamber. So I'll be there tomorrow, which leads me to the next thing, or not the next thing, but something I wanted to tell y'all. I will be showing up late tomorrow because I have to host that networking event. But anywho, it just became a part of what I do. So networking just became a part of my business. And you need networking no matter what type of business you're in. So you might think, well, I'm just a content creator. There's no such thing as just anything. If this is what you do and you're passionate about it, then that is your business. That is your brand. You need subscribers. You need watched hours. Don't think that you can't get them. I have been to a networking event and gained 3 subscribers in one networking event. Now, for those of you who already have tons and tons of subscribers and all your watched hours, you might feel like 3 subscribers is not worth my time. Well, for your girl, it is. It was, and it still is. I tell people about my YouTube channel everywhere I go. It is a part of my slides when I do my presentations, because this is another extension of me and what I do. And so I'm always telling people about my YouTube channel, and it really works well for me because I'm not getting that just natural algorithm growth like a lot of people get. So the majority of my subscribers are not creators. And even though I may only have, which I think I have 570 subscribers today, yay! However, the majority of them are not creators, but a lot of them have turned into clients. So where I may not have the numbers right now to be monetized on YouTube, YouTube still makes me money, because guess what? I'm out there chitting and chatting with people. I'm telling them who I am and what I do. They only get to meet with me for a brief moment because I'm moving around. It's not like it's a formal meeting. So then I tell them about my YouTube channel. I tell them about my TikTok. I give them that digital QR code. They pull it up. All of my links are right there. And so now they're able to consume my content to kind of get to know me better. And within a few days or a week or so, the next thing you know, I'm getting an email or my phone is ringing. I watched your content. I really like what you're talking about. I love your energy. I love your vibe. I want to work with you because this is an extension of me. This is an extension of my business card. This goes beyond even my website, because if you can log on and see me in person, live and on your screen, talking about the things that I talk about, that is going to give you much more insight than just Googling me or just meeting me at a networking event. And so going to these networking events can help in a multitude of ways. I'm putting a link up there. Y'all know I'll be forgetting. And I realize I'm running my mouth a lot. And I'm like, I have not invited y'all in. You know, if anyone has any questions for me, instead of typing it in the chat, if you want to join me up here, you are more than welcome. I love company. If you have something to add, if you have any insights, if you have any information that you want to share about networking or your pros and cons of networking, whatever you want to say, the link is right there. But it is an extension. And so I have gained, I really can't put a serious, like, actual number on it, but I know that I've gotten at least 150 of my subscribers from me meeting them, telling them what I do, and then offering them my YouTube channel via my digital business card is a way for them to get to know me a little bit better. I have been hired for full-on speaking, paid speaking engagements based on people finding me on social media, because I always ask, anytime somebody calls me, I always ask, how did you find out about me? Sometimes it's a referral from somebody that we know mutually, but a lot of times it's from people finding me on social media. And so if you feel like being a content creator does not benefit from going to networking events, I'm telling you, you are absolutely wrong. There are people at the networking events. Again, most entrepreneurs, especially in this day and age, are interested in content. They consume a lot of content on YouTube. Most entrepreneurs work from home. And so they have things on all day. They enjoy the vlogs. They enjoy all of that kind of stuff. And most of us content creators also do something else. We're not just filming vlogs. We have other businesses. We have other things that we're creating. And so it's very important to get out there and not just depend on the algorithm to bring you your people. Go out there and find your people. Let me see. I come up, but I'm in the grocery store. You are always multitasking, Janet. I love it. You're either cooking or going to go get something to cook. I love it. Yeah. And don't feel pressured. I'm just saying, if y'all want to, because I know I forget to say it, because again, this is what I do all day, every day, is talk to people. So I'm very comfortable talking to people, and I'll realize I have not offered anybody else the mic. So I just always try to make sure that I put that out there whenever it crosses my mind. So again, with the networking events, we have that elevator pitch. So I talked to you about how that elevator pitch would sound if you are like formally, hey, we're going around the room, pass around the mic. Those are the things. But it works the same way in person. Like I was saying before I kind of went off on that other tangent, the people who are at the networking event, they know to deal with networking events. They know why we're there. We're there to build relationships. We're there to connect with people. We are there to hopefully grow our business. We're there to learn something. We're also there to help other people grow. And so the way it looks different when you're talking to somebody face to face, you do the normal meeting like, hi, I'm Stae. Hey, I'm Roxanne. Good to meet you, Roxanne. So what do you do? And so Roxanne tells what she does. Then Roxanne will ask you, well, what do you do? And I'm telling you 100%, that is the number one question that gets asked at networking events. So that's the other thing that kind of helps with the awkwardness and not liking the small talk. That's what folks are there for. So you don't have to worry about somebody asking you what you do. After your name, the next thing they're going to ask you is what you do. That's what these events were created for. So don't feel weird about it. They're going to ask. So when they ask you what you do, you give that same spiel as the elevator pitch. You just say, oh, well, what I do is I help people reach their next level of success by giving them the skills and tools they need to thrive. It's based on soft skills and emotional intelligence. I teach people things like effective communication, active listening, some of the lost arts. A lot of people are able to get their jobs or start their businesses based on their hard skills, their technical skills. This is one of the examples I give all the time. I say, for example, a plumber. His technical skills are knowing how to unclog that drain, knowing how to fix a pipe, knowing how to fix a leaky faucet. But if that's all he had, the chances of him being able to thrive and flourish are slim to none. People start their businesses, get their jobs based on those hard skills, those technical skills. But in my research, I found that oftentimes they lose their jobs or their businesses fail because of the lack of soft skills. Soft skills are those interpersonal skills, how we interact with one another, how we communicate, how we make other people feel, our empathy, our communication. And so with iSalt, people are able to gain those soft skills and match them with their hard skills so that they are able to reach the level of success that they desire and deserve. Boom. There you have it. Yes, practice in the mirror and record yourself. Yeah, do that. But y'all see how easy that came to me. And again, that is not overnight. Kenneth said, I subscribed to you because I saw you on the Steve's channel. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Kenneth. I do. I appreciate that. But yeah, practicing in the mirror, it takes time. I wrote it down the first couple of times. And again, I'm not saying it today exactly the way I used to say it back then, but back then I would say the exact same thing. But your cadence changes a little bit when you're talking to somebody face to face. You want to make it more conversational, more personable. But again, at networking events, that's what they expect. That's what they're there for. And they just want you to hit those bullet points. Sometimes people are just like, oh my gosh. And one thing too, a lot of us have businesses where the people that we meet, because they might be a new entrepreneur or whatever, they're going to need what we have. I have had clients sign up with me right then and there, like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I need, or this is exactly what I need for my business. Oh my goodness, my employees have been struggling. We've been looking for someone like this. And you just give them the facts, but you want to show them in very few words and very little time the value that you bring. And once they hear that, they're going to be more engaged, more intrigued. And then you just share dialogue back and forth. Now, every time you go to a networking event, it may not result in a business deal. It may not even result in a subscriber, but I kind of want to guarantee you that if you mention your YouTube and share it with at least 5 people, at least one person is going to subscribe. I'm just saying. But it may not always result in that. However, what you've done is planted a seed and you are beginning to cultivate a relationship. And so you share your information, you let people know what you do, you let them know the value you add, the problem you solve. And so even if they don't need you in that moment, you will still be top of mind for them if whatever you do comes up. You'll be top of mind for them if someone else who they know needs whatever it is that you have. And so never discount the value of a relationship just because that relationship in that moment doesn't cultivate into you getting a subscriber or you getting a client for your business. It's called planting a seed. We know how it is on YouTube. People will consume our content, watch video after video, and not subscribe. It takes a while for people to make a commitment. Even though watching your YouTube video is free 99, it's still something about clicking that button and subscribing that makes people feel like they're giving you something. And they don't want to give you anything until they feel like they've received value from you. And it's the same in networking. So you might have to meet people 1, 2, 3 times before they really feel like they want to work with you or refer you to someone else. Janet said, good reminder that I need a new elevator pitch that includes my YouTube and my physical business. Yeah, absolutely. Because your YouTube is an extension of your physical business, and getting that digital business card, or even a new business card, and adding that to that, it is awesome. I always let people know what I do, because as far as social media, because again, if they want to get to know more about me, if they're interested in working with me, what better way to get to know me? If you like my personality, if you think I'm knowledgeable with what I do, blah, blah, blah. If you think I'm knowledgeable, what better way than to watch my YouTube videos, to watch my TikToks? What you see is what you get, and it can result in that, and it will also help your numbers. And so you have that conversation, and don't expect anything that day. But the thing is, as well, with networking, you also want to learn about that person and see how you can support them as well. And so when that person, which they're going to do pretty much the same thing, they're going to give that elevator pitch, and then you can tell them, you know what? I'm going to keep you in mind. I love what you do. It was awesome connecting. You can even ask them, if you don't want to say, hey, follow my YouTube channel. You can even ask them, are you on social media? Do you have a YouTube channel? Anything like that, because you also want to let them know that the relationship is going to be reciprocal. I'm not only wanting something from you, I also want to be able to support you. So if that means referring you to somebody, if that means subscribing to your YouTube channel, following you on Instagram, whatever it is, that is how you build these relationships. People want to know that you're not only there to take, because they understand that when you go to these networking events, everybody knows that we are there to build our business. Yeah, we are there to build our business. We are there to get clients. We are there to make connections. We are there to get referrals. However, they want to believe that it goes past that, where it's kind of, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So you always want to make that offer to support them as well. And so once you do that, you're starting to cultivate and build that relationship. People do business with who they know, like, and trust. And so that is the first impression. And that's where they're first getting to know you. They know you, they know your brand, and then they'll start to recognize you. Once they start to recognize you, and again, it's something that you have to do on a regular basis, because let me tell you this as well. When you get connected with the networking events in your area, when you get connected with your chambers of commerce, with your bankers or whatever, you're going to notice that it is pretty much the same group of people that you see at all these networking events. Same group of people with a couple of different new faces sprinkled in from time to time. Do not let that discourage you. Why? Because we are cultivating. So for those of you who are, the gardeners, all about cultivating. You have to till the soil. You have to water it. You have to give it food. You have to do all those things before you get whatever it is that you're hoping to bloom. It's not going to happen overnight. Well, it's the same thing with these networking events. So even though you might be seeing the same people, it's actually a good thing. You don't want to have to be starting from scratch every single time you show up, meeting new people, starting from ground zero, and having to build that relationship. So it's a good thing that you're seeing the same people, because now you can follow up like, hey, Roxanne, how are you doing? How is that crafting business going for you? Yeah, I saw that there was a craft show at the high school last week. Were you able to take advantage of that? And again, yeah, the small talk. But again, it's not small talk when there really is a reasoning behind it. And when you really are truly and genuinely invested and want to know how someone's doing. And so now you're building a relationship. So now Roxanne sees that you've remembered her. You're interested in what her business is. And now she'll ask you about yours. And maybe she didn't subscribe to your YouTube channel last time, but maybe she's going to subscribe to it this time. And so don't get discouraged when you start seeing the same people, because it also shows them that you're invested in your business. You're serious about your business. And so some of the people who are in the room who may be those bankers, who may be those people that you want to build the relationships with for finances, if it is maybe some of the entities or businesses that you would like to do business with, That is a way to show them that you're serious about your business because you're showing up. You're out there meeting the people. You are out there marketing your business. You are marketing your brand. And so they'll start to see you. Again, I'm telling y'all this because these are the things that literally work for me. I credit so much of my success to the fact that I just showed up. I showed up and I was genuinely myself. It was awkward at first, but people got to see me. People got to see my growth. People got to see my dedication. And so after they saw me for a while, got to know me, then they started to like me. People were like, oh my gosh, Stae, you're so awesome. I love when you show up. I love hearing about your business. I love that passion about your business. And so once they started to like me, then they started to invite me to different things. Now, this is something else that I want to share with y'all. When you're first trying to build your business, do not be afraid. Do not feel like you are above sometimes doing things for free. I know business is about making money, but you know what? Guess what? We show up and put this content on YouTube and other social media platforms, sometimes for years before we actually make a dime from the platform. So what's that mean? We're doing it for free. But why are we willing to do it for free? Because we're passionate about it, right? We're passionate about it. And that's the thing. You never work a day when you're doing the thing that you would do for free. And that's why we do this for free all the time, day after day, until we hit those magic numbers and we start getting paid. And then even when we start getting paid, what I found from a lot of people who are monetized in the very beginning, it's peanuts. It's nothing that can sustain you, but you still continue to do it. And so it's the same way with networking and building those connections. They may ask you to do something for little to nothing. But again, it's cultivating that relationship. And so every once in a while, you may need to do something for free. You may offer to do something for free. When I first started in my business and I was out there, I would meet certain people and find out what they did. And I would ask, well, do you all ever have any type of sessions? Do you do any type of coaching? Do you offer resources? Because I would love to come and speak maybe just for 10 minutes about soft skills and emotional intelligence. I went to different chambers of commerce when they would have things for entrepreneurs and small business owners, and they would have people come in and talk about different things about how to build your business, how to write a business plan. And so I would say, hey, do you have any room for me to come and talk about soft skills and emotional intelligence? So whatever it is that you do and whoever your potential client is, whether it's baking pies, you can offer to give free pie samples or whatever, that is for you. If it's doing hair, if it's selling jewelry, you may have to give some away for free, but that outcome, that end game, the long game, you're building that trust. So now they've gotten to know you, they like you, and now they trust you because they realize that you're not just about the money. Of course, you want to make money, but what you're most passionate about is what you do and sharing it with other people. And so you're willing to give just a little bit away for free in order for them to be able to see what you're really about. Because even though they've had these brief conversations, they've gotten to know you a little bit, they like you, they still haven't gotten to see you in action, whatever that is, once again. So you may want to offer to do something for free. And I'm telling you, it pays off in the long run. I have stood in front of many a group of people. I have stood behind many a mic. I have stood on many a stage and given my talk, and I have given it with excellence. I've given it my all. I've done my work. I've prepared for it, knowing I was not going to make a dime. However, what I knew for sure is that I am excellent at what I do. And so I knew that it was going to pay off. And it did. The next thing you know, I'm getting call after call, email after email, people wanting me to come and speak to this group, people wanting me to come and coach this person on their team. Those turned into dollars. And so that's what networking is about. It's about building those relationships. And I learned this a while ago, this phrase from Cheryl Pelote Williams, which I have mentioned her several times. She said, build the relationships and the transactions will come. Your business needs to be more relational than transactional. Because if you're just getting the transactions without building the relationships, those transactions may not stick. And none of us want a one and done client, a one and done customer. We want, just like we talk about this evergreen content on Facebook, we want to have evergreen clientele. We want people who are going to come back to us time after time. We want people who are going to refer people to us. We don't want somebody just to hire us just because we feel the need at this time and they have no real commitment to us, no real connection to us. So going through these steps and building these relationships, it's a process that's going to help you expand your business and get stability in your business, because now you have this tribe of people who are dedicated to you, this tribe of people who know you, this tribe of people who like you, this tribe of people who trust you, who wouldn't dare go to someone else. I mean, how many of us have had that relationship with our hairstylist, our landscaper, or whatever? Like, nobody else is touching my hair, nobody else is touching my yard, because we've built that relationship and we trust them and we know what to expect every time we call on them. So that's what building this relationship is about, because transactions will fall off after a while. When people don't have a relationship with you, they will bounce all over the place, whoever can serve the need. So that's why you want to set that groundwork up front, that I'm building the relationships. And that's what these networking events do. And so it's very important to cultivate those relationships. And I'll tell you this, when you build a solid, meaningful business relationship with someone, they will pay extra to keep working with you. They're not going to leave just to save a dime. They will travel further to keep working with you. They will do whatever they have to do. No one can offer them anything that, oh, well, I'll do it for you for 20% less, or, you know, I'm going to be closer to you, whatever, because they have that relationship. And that's why the networking events and building these relationships is so important, because a lot of times we can't get that same connection online, because online is about the microwave society. Just look somebody up, do whatever, and you don't have the connection. And so that's why, with these platforms being awesome, I always preach that this just needs to be an extension. You still want to make connections with people who you can see and touch and talk to face to face. Let me see. Fair point. I can't use a different Mexican restaurant because my people are not there. Yeah, absolutely. Like, we get committed. Like, I have gone to several restaurants, Wallace and I, where we have literally built relationships with certain people on the bartending and the wait staff. We sit in their section every single time. We know as soon as we come in and they see we're there, they're going to bring our first drink, because they already know what we want. When they come, they're going to ask us, oh, are you going to have this again this evening? They're going to ask us about our kids. They're going to ask us about our dog, because we've built that relationship. And with that, they also know, because they take such good care of us, we're going to tip them well, because we're not just having somebody coming and setting down our plate, what do you need, and just doing the bare minimum. We've built that relationship because they've learned the art of networking, and something about how they treated us the first, second time we were there made us feel like we never want to sit in anybody's section. I mean, we were to the point where we learned people's schedules. Like, we had a person on the wait staff, a server who we absolutely loved. Her name was Shay, and she worked at the Blue Crab. The Blue Crab, unfortunately, did not survive COVID. There's another restaurant there now that's really, really good, but it's not the Blue Crab. But Wallace and I, the Blue Crab was our spot. They had indoor and outdoor seating, so we went there year round, and Shay was our server every single time. She could see us coming a mile away. All right, Kenneth, you have a restful night. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. She could see us. Hey, Kim, how are you? I haven't even looked on Facebook in a minute. I'm so sorry. And so for those of you who are on Facebook, if you didn't already know, I am mainly streaming to YouTube, and that's where I see most of the comments. So if you want to join the conversation in real time, if you'd like to join me on stage, if you have anything to add, you just need to go over to YouTube. And all you need to do is go in the search bar and put @Stae Hall. It'll take you to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe and join the conversation. But I do appreciate having y'all on Facebook as well. But please excuse me if I'm not seeing everything that's going on Facebook. But anyway, Shay would see us coming a mile away, and so she'd be ready for us. And she had those drinks going. We would chit chat. She would stand by our table, put her hand on her hip and just like, yeah, so what's going on with y'all? Are y'all still doing this? Oh, how is the dog? I mean, she knew the dog's name, everything. And we enjoyed that. We had the relationship. When she left the restaurant, we're like, well, what are we going to do now that Shay's not here? And so that goes to show that it's that relationship. The food was going to be the same no matter who was there to bring it to us. The drinks are going to be the same. The prices are going to be the same. The atmosphere, the seating, y'all get what I'm saying. It was all going to be the same no matter whose section we sat in. But it was that relationship. It was the service. It was the fact that we felt like she really cared about us beyond the tip. We were human beings because she started treating us great before she ever got her first tip. She was awesome from the moment she first came to our table, which is what made us be drawn to her and want to sit in her section every time. And as business people, that's what we have to think about, building those relationships that are going to cause people to want to continue to do business with us time after time. And again, as much as social media has played a huge part in expanding our reach and the people that we can contact, there's still nothing like that face-to-face human connection of building real relationships. Let me see. I'm so glad y'all talking. Y'all was quiet. So I hope y'all quiet because y'all taking notes and I'm dropping a lot of nuggets. I hope I'm not putting y'all to sleep. Relationships really do matter. I would go out of my way for better service over convenience. Absolutely. They matter so much. And I have people who have had the opportunity to do business with other people because maybe they've moved or whatever the case may be, but they decide to still continue the relationship with me. And so maybe we're doing our meetings over Zoom now, maybe whatever, but they've built that relationship. Hey, Missy J, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. I love that you're saying this. Many times people focus on monetizing and not showcasing your passion and building relationships. Yeah, that can't be your main focus. And thank you, Missy, for, affirming and validating that I am giving good information, because that means a lot to me. And it is information that can help because it has to be more about money. Whatever you do, if your main purpose for doing it is the money, you are going to burn out so quickly. Money cannot be the main force. It has to be the passion. It has to be building those relationships. And again, if your business is focused on relational over transactional, the transactions are automatically going to come. People are going to want to have those transactions with you. People are going to want to reward you for your services. People are going to be glad to write you those checks based on the relationship that you build. And using these platforms as that extension is so important. I don't want to see any of us so locked in. And y'all know I did a live all about taking your business offline, using this as an extension, because these platforms could go away at any time. We don't own these platforms. And so they can decide at any time, like we could be talking right now and this screen can just go black and news flash on CNN, YouTube is no more. Now, what are we going to do? If that's all we were doing is working on here to create content for YouTube to pay us, now that money is gone. And so use these platforms as an extension, but then also use your car, use your legs, your hands, and get out there to these old-fashioned networking events and start meeting people. You can learn so much from meeting people. You can find your new best friend from getting out there and meeting people. You can learn more about your own business from getting out there and meeting people, because here's a secret. You're not the only one who's doing what you're doing, right? And so most of the people on YouTube who are given all, and I told y'all, even my secret, I don't give the whole store away on YouTube. And most people who are on YouTube doing some sort of professional job that they also have an actual existing business outside of YouTube, they're not giving you the real deal Holyfield. They're trying to give you just enough so that you can buy in and then be a part of their business offline. But in real life, and you build those connections and those people feel invested in you and you actually have the relationships, that's where you're going to find your mentors. That's where you're going to find your coaches. That's where you're going to find that support system to collaborate and bounce ideas off of, because they actually have that real human connection with you. That's where you can get a lot more of the information, and sometimes, again, for free, because people just want to help and they see you out there doing things and you're investing in yourself. And that's what networking shows as well. It shows that you care enough about your business to invest in yourself, to get out there. You believe that your business is valuable enough, and whatever service or product you have, that you owe it to people to be out there. Okay, I thought I missed somebody. That you owe it to people to be out there to tell them about your business. So I definitely don't want y'all to let the old-fashionedness of networking, I don't want y'all to let the anxiety of networking, the awkwardness of networking, allow you to miss out on the awesome opportunities there are to build relationships, to expand your businesses, and to learn. Like I said, you will meet people at networking events who are just looking to give small businesses and entrepreneurs money, who are looking just to give. And I mean give, G-I-V-E, free, F-R-E-E, give instruction and education. A lot of the networking events I go to, I would say easily 60% of the networking events I go to are sponsored by financial institutions. Why are these financial institutions sponsoring these networking events? Because they want to put themselves in front of people who need their services. And how they get the services is they're going to court you through that process. They're going to offer you some sort of education. They're going to offer you some sort of opportunity, because they want that when you're making the big bucks, they want you to bring it to their bank. So it's all how they're building relationships to grow their business. So if it's working for these Fortune 500 companies, if it's working for these big banks, these big financial institutions, what makes you think it won't work for you? The whole reason they're doing this, it's not just because they love us and they care about us so much. And it's not that they don't, but it's because they want to be able to turn us from a student to a client, to a customer. So they're showing us, this is what ABC Bank can do for the small business owner. This is what we offer. These are the kind of programs that we have. These are the cohorts that we're putting together. And at the end of that, here is a check that we'll give to you for participating. And what they want you to do is turn around and put that check in their bank. But that's networking. That's building relationships. That's being a person who you know, like, and trust. They want you to get to know them. They want you to like what they offer. Then they want you to trust them, that when you start making the money and the checks start rolling in, you're going to put it in the bank. And that's the same thing that we're doing as individual business owners. We're going out there and building these relationships, because our end goal, and it doesn't make us disingenuous, because we're going to be having genuine conversations. We're going to be building genuine relationships. But yes, our end goal is that we hope in some way, shape, or form that in the long run, somehow that turns into a transaction. And whether that transaction is with that particular person or whether they're referring you to someone, we still are hoping for a transaction. But even if no transaction comes, the education, the experience that you gain from doing these kinds of things is priceless. And so I really want y'all to be able to look at the bigger picture and look at all of the opportunities that are just out there waiting for you, and not to get in your own way, get in your own head, and allow anxieties and different ideas we have about these things keep you from these opportunities. Wallace said loans and credit products are how banks make their money. Exactly. And so they want to build those relationships, and they realize that they may have to give a little before they get, but their long game is, that's what they want. They want, when you're ready for that small business loan, they want you to come to their bank. And they feel like, if I give you this education, if I give you this $5,000 prize at the end of this cohort, I've built your trust. You like me. So when you need that small business loan, you're going to come to me. That's why it's so important to make relationships with your banker. I'm telling you, these networking. Hey, V, thank you so much for being here, sis. I appreciate you. But yeah, they want to know that when you're making the money with your small business, they're going to bring it in. When you need that loan to expand your small business, you're going to come there to get that loan. When you need that business credit card so you can start booking your flights and travel because you booked them busy, they want you to get that credit card from them. So they're courting you. So take advantage of that. And where you will find these people is going to be in the networking events. They will educate you on credit so you qualify. Yes, that's another thing. And a lot of this, it's free. You build a relationship with a banker that you meet at a networking event, make a meeting with them and sit down and have a goals and planning session. Let them know what it is that you're trying to do, and they will give you for free every step that you need to do to be able to get there. If you are wanting to purchase a home and you're not sure if you're ready, your banker can help you get ready. But guess who's also at these networking events? Realtors, mortgage brokers who will counsel you for free, who will look at what you have and give you the tools that you need to be able to be home buyer ready. Why will they do this for you for free? Because once you're ready, they're hoping that they've built that relationship with you, that you're going to use them as your realtor. You're going to use them as your mortgage broker. But the good thing about it is, even if you don't, you have no obligation. They're still going to help you. They're only hoping that you use them, but you're not obligated to do that. Let's see. What's the best way to find the right networking events for you? So I was saying earlier, Lisa J, probably before you hopped on, that my number one way is always going to be through the chambers of commerce, because it's just been so much of a resource for me. And so even if you're not wanting to join a chamber of commerce or go into a chambers of commerce office right now, you can always just Google your local Black Chamber of Commerce, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, just the regular Chamber of Commerce, and sign up for their newsletter. And most of them, if not all of them, have a newsletter that they'll email you, and there'll be a list of all of a calendar of events for them. And it'll let you know what type of networking events. Any networking events that you see that are being sponsored by a bank, which would be on that newsletter, go to that networking. Those networking events are right for everybody. Another way to find suitable networking events that I mentioned is going to Eventbrite. And I put Eventbrite in the chat somewhere, but it's just event, but Bright is Brite. It's an app as well as a website where you can go in and plug in your city as well as what type of networking event you're looking for. So, and it's not just for networking events. And I didn't say that earlier. Eventbrite has all different types of events. So you would go in there and just put in networking events for entrepreneurs and then put your city, and it'll pull them up. And then most of them are going to have a description of what type of networking events. You can also put in mixers, they call them a lot, or meetups. You can also just Google networking events in my area, meetups in my area. But Eventbrite has been awesome for me. And there's also another one. When I said meetup, I think there's a meetup.com too. And that kind of sounds like dating or something, but it's not. And you can read those descriptions. But there's not going to be, like, in the very beginning, especially if you're not used to it, then yeah, you might want to be more choosy and find the ones that are being hosted by a bank or the ones that say specifically small business owners. But most of the time it's going to be that. Rarely are networking events going to be super specific, but every once in a while you may see one. So if it's a networking event for building contractors or whatever, yeah, you might not want to go. But most of the time they're not super specific. However, what I would also lend to you is, depending on what you do, it may not matter what type of networking event it is, right? So for me, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a small business owner. However, my business can serve anyone. And so another little tip is going to the networking events that may not be specifically tailored to you can also give you an upper hand, give you that edge. Because if I'm at one of my favorite networking events to go to are real estate networking events, right? And so at the real estate networking events, you're normally going to have banks, mortgage lenders, and realtors, right? I am none of those. I was a realtor in a former life. I'm no longer a realtor. However, I show up at real estate networking events. Why? Because realtors and banks and mortgage officers can use soft skills training. So now here I am, the only anti real estate person in the room. So now I have everybody's ear. You see what I'm saying? So there's little tips about that where you might want to navigate in the way where you want to put yourself in the place where there's nobody else doing what you do, depending on who your clients are. So whoever is a good client for you, that's also a good way to pick your networking event. So, it just pick and choose, because some networking events, or most of them, are going to be for all businesses, because networking events mainly are for small business owners and entrepreneurs. But if you find one that's specific to, because they're not going to say, oh, you're not a real estate agent, you can't come in. No, they don't ask you at the door what you do. So you just go in, you register, you go in, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to be free. The most I've ever paid to go to a networking event was $20, and that has been far and few between. A couple for $10. And with those, it's usually because there's a meal provided or whatever. So you still get, some bang for your buck, and they're usually at really nice places, but 99% of them are going to be free of charge. But yeah, just read and see who's going to be there. And if whatever you do can serve the people who are going to be there, even though you're not in the same industry, girl, show up and be the only one doing what you're doing there, because then that way you get people's ear. Another thing that happens at networking events a lot of times is people who are in the networking game all the time, this is what they do day in and day out, they will talk to you and then drag you around and start introducing you to other people. Make sure when you're at the networking events that you always get people's information. Do not just give your information and leave the onus on them to contact you. Don't do that. If there's somebody that you want to work with, if there's somebody that you want to sit down and have coffee with to take a deeper dive into the conversation, get their information and you reach out to them. Just a simple text or an email. Hey, Roxanne, it was so great meeting you Wednesday night at the networking event. I would really like to hear more about what you do. And again, always make it about them, because we're building the relationship. So not, I want to tell you more about what I do. I'm really interested in learning more about what you do. Give me a couple available dates where you might be free for a quick 20-minute coffee. Start cultivating that relationship. Don't just collect business cards and give business cards away and just expect something to happen, because you have to remember, everybody doesn't have a Stae Hall in their life. So everyone doesn't know the rules of networking. And some people are just as anxious and socially awkward as you are. So they collect the cards and they don't make a phone call. Don't think just because you haven't heard from somebody, that means they don't want to work with you. People are also busy. So go ahead and make that first move. You've already stepped out of your comfort zone. You've gone to this networking event. You got the information. Use it. Just shoot a quick text or an email, because you're only going to be able to talk but so much at the networking event. And again, we're building relationships. So we're letting people know we remember them. We let them know that we're interested. Of course, we're saying we want to learn more about them, and we genuinely do, because the more we learn about them, the more we can see how we can fit into what they have going on. But it also gives us an opportunity to talk about ourselves. But you always want to lead with what I can do for you, what I would like to learn from you, because again, that shows people that you're not just in it to make the money. Another thing that you can do if you're nervous about networking and you're nervous about introducing yourself to people is do things physically that will draw people to you. Now, for me, I'm 5'8" and I walk up in the networking event with 4 or 5 inch heels. That in and of itself would draw people to me, because they're like, oh my gosh, you're so tall, whatever. Kiki, yes, I've been this height since 6th grade. And that's a true story. My height alone will make people say something to me. But there are other things that you can do. Go to the networking events and have on your company t-shirt with the logo on it, where people will say, oh, iSalt. What is iSalt? Whatever that is. Have your what is the word that I'm looking for? Your brand colors. Wear the same colors all the time. Be known for the girl to be the girl in the pink blazer, the girl in the purple blazer, whatever it is, things that stand out. Wear a statement piece of jewelry that'll make people say, oh my gosh, that necklace is so beautiful. Whatever. Do things to draw people to you with your physical appearance, whether it's with your clothing, your jewelry, whatever. So then you don't have to worry about being the person who starts the conversation, because for a lot of us, that is the most difficult part, is starting the conversation, introducing ourselves. But if someone takes the initiative and does that, then we don't have to worry about starting the conversation. And then as soon as they ask us that key question, what is it that you do? Again, all of a sudden, all nervousness goes out of the way. All anxiety goes out of the way, because we love to talk about what it is that we do, because we're passionate about it. So there are so many different ways that you can do it. If you're nervous about networking events, show up maybe 15 minutes late. Why? Because then there will be more people there. You won't feel by yourself. You won't feel like all eyes are on you when you walk in the door. Let's see. There's a guy here who dresses like Mr. T and he works for Spectrum. Yes. Oh my gosh, Mr. T. He is at every networking event. He is a sales rep for Spectrum. His job is to go knocking on doors and offering people Spectrum TV. For those of you who don't have Spectrum or whatever, or live here, Spectrum is just our internet and cable TV provider, one of them around here. That is his job. Now, I don't know if this guy ever goes knocking on doors, but he is at most, if not all, of the networking events I go to. But his thing to stand out, his gimmick or whatever, is he has a mohawk, he wears the chains, he dresses like Mr. T, and he shows up. People have even hired him to just show up at their events as Mr. T and not even as the Spectrum rep, but that's his thing. Why does he do that? I'm assuming it's because that's a conversation starter. That's going to make people come to him. The guy with the mohawk and all the chains and the rings, that is an attention starter. That people are not going to forget him. And so that is how he builds the relationships. That's what people know him by. Everybody knows the Mr. T guy. And I'm sure business is booming, because a lot of times when you have like those door-to-door sales jobs and commission jobs, people don't usually stay with those jobs a long time unless they're really great at it. And so for him to be doing this for years and years and years, he has to be making a lot of sales. And he's probably coming to the networking events because he can kill two birds with one stone. He can get at the networking event and be able to serve your needs at your personal residence as well as your business. So I'm not suggesting that any of you cut your hair in a mohawk or dye your hair blue, purple, or pink unless that's just your thing. But there are things that you can do with your physical that will just draw people to you. Like I said, it could be a big chunky necklace. It could be your signature color, a certain blazer. You could be the one who walks in the room with, nicely dressed with just your bedazzled Chuck Taylors on. Whatever it is, something that will catch people's eye and make them want to talk to you. So I hope that I have given y'all some information today that was valuable, something that you can see using in your life to be able to expand your business, because that is definitely my passion. Y'all also have the opportunity to take me offline and work with me one-on-one. I literally have clients all over the world because we can meet Zoom as well. I would love to be your coach and be able to take deeper dives and things that are more specific to you, your business, your life, and give you the skills and tools that you need to reach the level of success that you desire and deserve. Y'all see how I'm doing that? That's networking. That's networking. And so that's why I do what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And I love, thank you, Lacey J. Thank you. I love being able to pour into you all. And it makes me feel good to know that something I said may have triggered you to do something just a little differently that will result into you getting that success that you work so hard for. And so sometimes all it takes is just a little bit of a change of a mindset and doing something a little bit differently. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I have more business than I can even handle. And that's what I would like to see for each and every one of you. Also, for those of you who are still on your girl has been working overtime. So even though I've been doing this March Madness, I have also been keeping up with my regular content and dropping videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. Well, tonight is Wednesday, and so I am dropping a premiere video. So if y'all don't mind hanging out with me again tonight, hey, Tori, how are you? If you don't mind hanging out with me again, it's so good to see you in the place. I appreciate you for tuning in. If you don't mind hanging out with me for a little while longer tonight at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, I have a premiere video dropping, and it is all about me starting my journey on Wegovy. And for those of you who don't know what Wegovy is a semaglutide weight loss injection, which is very similar to its sister Ozempic. Ozempic was originally a diabetes medication that they found out actually also cause people to have significant weight loss. I have been struggling with my weight for the past 2 years since I turned 50. I'm now 52, and I've tried so many things that have not been successful. And now being in postmenopause and just all the things, I was ready to try something new and different. And so if you're interested in following my Wegovy journey, that video is dropping tonight at 9, where I'll actually be unboxing the Wegovy and then just talking about some of the research that I've done to help me kind of build my Wegovy journey arsenal, because there are certain side effects and different things that are pretty common. And so I wanted to get myself educated where I could give myself the best possible opportunity to have a good experience with this medication and also to get the best results. And so I'm going to be sharing that arsenal with you and the things and tips that I've learned. And I'm going to be vlogging this journey weekly, and it's going to be separate from my regular vlogs. I'm going to start doing just dedicated Wegovy videos to kind of let y'all know what my experience is, what, if any, side effects I'm having, what type of weight loss I'm experiencing, if any. But tonight is just that unboxing, talking about my research and just giving y'all some of the tips. So if you're interested, you as well, I'll be. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I definitely would love to see y'all in the place, because I love the premiere videos because I get to chit and chat with y'all in real time as you watch it. So I know I'm asking a lot, but I'm here. I'm doing this thing. I'm not, because I considered at one point, like, should I still show up live for March Madness even when I'm dropping a video? But I'm like, yeah, because I didn't say I'm doing March Madness, but I'm no longer going to be doing my regular content. So when I tell y'all, your girl has literally been working her fingers to the bone for the month of March. I have been going nonstop. Like tomorrow morning, I have to be at a seminar for myself where I'm going to be the student about grant writing. So if any of y'all know a lot about nonprofits, if any of y'all are grant writers, holler at your girl. I would love the opportunity to chat with you. And I also do bartering. Don't overlook bartering as a small business owner or an entrepreneur. Sometimes the barter system is the best system. If you have a girlfriend who braids hair and you do clothes alteration, girl, look, I'll alter all your clothes for free. You braid my hair for free. That is still money, because guess what? You didn't have to pay for that service. So I do bartering as well. So if there's anyone here who does grant writing, stuff like that, maybe we can trade some grant writing expertise for some coaching expertise. But I do that even though the business is booming or whatever. I never forget those old school things. I don't care how many contracts I get, how many paid clients I have. I will always barter with someone, because if you're giving me something I need in exchange for me giving you something that you need, that's still money to me. I don't know about y'all, but I don't leave nothing on the table. But yeah, we're embarking on this new journey. We're going to be announcing the name of our nonprofit and all of that soon. So I have that class tomorrow. I still have coaching class tomorrow. I got to get something done to this head tomorrow. And then I'm hosting a networking event tomorrow. And so that's why I said tomorrow, not that I'm not going to go live, but I just won't be live. I know I won't be live at 7 o'clock, but I will pop up and we'll chit and chat about a little something. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate you so much. This is so much fun to me. No matter how much I do, this still brings me joy. I'm never going to be too tired to talk to the Lifer tribe. Hey, Nikedra, how are you? How are you? Nikedra is awesome, girl. Put your website in the chat. Nikedra is an awesome motivational speaker. She is an author. She is just a joy. I've had the opportunity to have a one-on-one. Nikedra will tell y'all. Now, Nikedra, she listened to me. Nikedra was somewhere where I spoke. I believe it's when she was a part of a cohort somewhere. If I'm wrong, I think it was, oh goodness, the collab cohort, I believe. And I stood there and I spoke to her class and I told them I was talking about kind of the same thing I'm talking about now. And I talked about don't be afraid to shoot your shot. If there is somebody that you want to meet with and you aren't really sure, how to meet with them or not know if you're able to meet with them. Oh, hey, Deborah, all you can do is ask, shoot your shot, slide in their DMs, whatever you got to do. And I'm telling you, I did not really know Nikedra at the time, but she shot her shot. She slid in my DMs and said she would like to have a one-on-one conversation with me. And if I could give her some tips about her motivational speaking and all that kind of stuff. And I said, absolutely. And so we sat down and had coffee and we talked for a little while and I poured into her the best that I could. And I love the fact that she was able to utilize some of the things that I shared. And I hope to continue to be some sort of mentor, guide, coach, inspiration for her because I love watching her grow. And my desire is when I pour into people, when people come to me, is for me to be able to help them propel far advanced where I have ever gone. That is what I like because I'm an old woman. And so that is what I love. But yeah, Nikedra can tell y'all, she listened to my advice and she used it on me. She said, you said just shoot your shot if there's somebody I want to talk to. And so I'm sliding in my DMs and I'm shooting my shot. And so that is what she did. And so if y'all are interested in some real good motivation and inspiration, please check out Nikedra's website. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, you have delivered great content and information. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hey, Deborah, I think I said hey, but I don't remember. So I want to make sure I speak. And thank you so much for being such a faithful lifer, Deborah. And you as well, Vonda, forever a part of the Lifer tribe. I appreciate you. Deborah saying hey to everybody. There's Nikedra's website. So make sure y'all check her out because she is doing some awesome things. Vonda saying hi to everyone. I've got to watch the replay. I'm really late. That's okay, girl. And I got a premiere at 9:00. So be on. It's true story. Yeah, she'll tell you she shot her shot. And the next thing you know, we were sitting across the table with each other at Black Coffee. I told y'all about Black Coffee yesterday. Whenever I meet with somebody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'm always saying, hey, meet me over at Black Coffee. So another reminder for any of you who are watching on Facebook, this broadcast and stream is primarily for YouTube. So in order to really chat in real time or join me up on stage, then you would need to go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and then that way you can be in the main chat. And also, if any of you would like to ever join me as a guest, let me know. Shoot your shot, slide my DM, send me an email. All of my contact information is always in the description box, and we can set something up. If you have something that you want to talk to the tribe about, if you have something that you want to promote, I'm always open to that because, again, it's all about building those relationships and making those meaningful connections. So, y'all, I have a premiere video that is going to be going up in about 20 minutes. So I am going to let y'all go. I'm going to grab myself some more water and electrolytes. I think I'm just going to have a protein shake for dinner this evening because I had some roasted chicken earlier. But I want to get comfy so that we can watch this premiere together about my Blvd journey and we can chit and chat in those comments. So again, if you're not already on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so y'all can join us for the premiere and join us for this Blvd journey. So y'all know the drill. I love each and every one of you to bits and pieces. I appreciate you for always taking time out to rock with your girl. Each one of you is wonderful. Continue to shine. Don't let anyone ever dim your light. And always be kind and always love one another. But don't forget to live your life. L-Y-F-E. Love yourself first explicitly. And I'll see y'all at 9 o'clock for the premiere. Bye. Y'all have a good night.
Living life is gay. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dreams. Living life